Yeah, namaste. Myself, Professor Vedvyas Dwivedi from Indus University, Ahmedabad. Today, I thank the South Narmad South Gujarat University Vice Chancellor, RF, and all the organizers who have taken this pain to organize this kind of conference. And they have invited me for this talk to deliver the topic, enhancing research productivity through quality brainstorming. Basically, brainstorming and then quality brainstorming. Actually, they are very much related, and they are ultimately not related. Actually, they are complement and supplement both. So let us discuss on how to enhance the quality, the productivity, the effectiveness, and the efficiency of research and the researcher. You know, when the research productivity enhancing means the researcher is himself or herself very much efficient and very much keen to enhance the research productivity. And therefore, the interdisciplinary research has been taken into focus as far as National Education Policy 2020 is concerned, or it is Sustainable Development Growth Policy 17, SDG 17 is concerned, where all these interdisciplinary things, research outcomes, innovation, creativity, their necessity, quality brainstorming, productivity, and all these things have been discussed, and they have been widely covered. For whom? For the aspirants. And therefore, the dictionary meanings are required to be known. The first meaning is inspiration, thoughts that comes from inside. You know, then insight, that is in Harvard Business Review. They are saying brainstorming means insight means it's brainwave, it's brainstormed. Question burst. Hal Gregerson says it is question burst. It is not answer burst. It is question burst. And what else? It is mind mapping. What is mind mapping exactly for brainstorming? It is the process of recasting the problem. Which problem? The research problem. Suppose you have taken a research and you want to, carry it out. You have taken a project. You want to complete it in time, in the defined objective manner. Then what is required? But mind mapping is required. So brainstorming, mind mapping, question burst, inspiration, these all things are very much important for a researcher to enhance his or her research productivity. I request you all to not get frustrated and not get bored. These are the two, eyes of a researcher, that he or she never feels to be frustrated and never get bored. Because ultimately, what is important? Brainstorming for the research, or it is research brainstorming. So let me go with another slide where I have endorsed two kinds of references. One is to observe, to whom you are going to observe for the research quality enhancement. One, your Mata Pita and elders. Those whosoever are there in the family. So just observe them, see their day-to-day activity, see their behaviors, see how do they deal with the critical situations in the family, in the surrounding, in the society, and see and observe your research guide, your teacher, your supervisor, how keen they are, how focused they are to resolve the research kind of things in the family, in the society, in the classroom, in the laboratory, and how do they deal with the students, with the youngsters in the family. So these are the things a researcher should always keep in mind to observe before he or she becomes a researcher. Otherwise, he or she cannot be said as a researcher. The best researcher always is the best observer, keen observer. There is a कहावत in Hindi, वो व्यक्ति ही महान बनता है जो किसी ध्येय की खोज में घूमता है. Athato gumakkad jigyasa means you are a wanderer having some targeted, goal-oriented, focused intention in your mind to achieve and attain. And for you all, I request to refer and read all these references. I have enlisted over here. One of them is Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where you see how keen observer is Arjuna, the great Chanakya, Adya Shankaracharya, Vivekananda, Dr. Radhakrishnan, Dr. APJ Kalam, National Education Policy 2020, SDG 17. All these things are must to read. Please read them. Similarly, all these other references I have enlisted over here. Brainstorming. That is also basically for research brainstorming. How will you do it? So please see, I will be quick in the presentation. You can read later. Critical thinking, creative thinking, where your mind and your heart should be open. Keep your mind open. You should not be biased, basically. And then only you can increase your acceptance level. We are more reflective, less accepting. What we should do is, we should be reverse. We should be more in the more acceptance mode than reflective. So anything coming to you should first be accepted. So become flexible. And that is what is creative thinking. And that is what is the part of critical thinking. If you are not analyzing yourself, that is the self-evaluation part. It means your mind is very much biased. You are not open-hearted, right? And therefore, the choice is yours. What kind of brainstorming you want during, before, and after your research. That is verbal, whether it is non-verbal, whether it is electronic. But the question only is that there are more than 11,000 literature and videos and audios available. When you Google, when you go for the search engine, you will find more than 11,000 this kind of literature, papers and other things available on the ICT search engines. That is, you can Google it, right? It says that a verbal one, in fact, builds the nominal group technique. What is important? That in 1996, in 2008, 2012, and 2018, all these years have tried to focus that electronic brainstorming, especially this kind of online platforms, they are not that much effective. Okay, we are moving from physical to digital, no doubt today, but the researchers say that the electronic brainstorming is not that much effective. So researchers are always, they are our role models. So we can say that we should meet in person to discuss the issues and understand what exactly is the brainstorm, right? So these are the things where we should be very much focused about. Also, it measures the patience, tolerance, and perseverance of the researcher. Because if you are a researcher, you should be highly tolerant. You should have high amount of patience, and that way you are whether eligible and capable can be measured. This attracted me, this 2018 Harvard Business Review, page number 67. It says that RBS for research questions rather than specific answers. See, very lovely this statement is. What it says, research questions. Not only we should be focused on the answers. So it is easier to push the past biases and venture into uncharted territory. So this is a very lovely sentence, and I found it. And that is why RBS needs the brain. If we have the brain, then only we can go for the brainstorm. What does this brain over here means? Means we are open-minded and we are open-hearted, right? So the format we have to decide in which format we want to go. Actually, these two formats, whether it is individual brainstorming or it is team-based brainstorming, that has to be decided by the researcher along with in association and guidance of the supervisor. So what kind of brainstorming you want, that you have to decide. Now, the current problem you have to, what is my current research problem. Based on that, whether I should go for individual or team should be decided. But I suggest that, before going for this one, we should very frequently go for the, this brainstorming sessions, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. And in the beginning, you can keep the duration between 2 sessions very small, and gradually you can increase if you want. So again, it is programmable, and all kinds of possibilities should be analyzed critically, on all 360-degree platforms, north, south, east, west, up, down, all 4 directions, all 10 directions, in fact. So 360-degree analysis of the research problem should be done in the beginning, so that all possibilities can come together and you can help you in the better way. Right? Similarly, you should be goal focused. You do not divert from the goal, and collect all kinds of information, data. Say healthy survey is very much important. Actually, it was said in the 90s that healthy survey is the only key, but now it has been changed, and there are a number of other keys also. So healthy survey is one of the important keys. Okay. Now this sentence is very much important, and that's why I have written over here 6 to 7 p.m. as a researcher, which is my experience, my students, my research scholars' experience, that I should be very much creative and innovative. But when can I become creative and innovative? When I am very much regularly updated. And how can I be updated? I can get updated. It should be on daily basis, regular basis. Every day, 6 to 7 p.m., you focus on the updates related to your research. Okay. Similarly, some inputs I have written over here, which will be very much useful for you. Tolerance test and its validity, it is very much must. And these are certain tips. Always it should be short. See, this talk is if this talk goes on for say 2 hours, 3 hours, then you will be bored and you'll be frustrated and it will lose its meaning. Therefore, it should be kept short. So 35, 40, 45, maximum 1 hour. Similarly, it should clarify the research problem. Whenever you are going for your brainstorming session with the researchers, with the group of researchers, then the research problem should be very much clear. You should set the agenda in the beginning. It should be circulated. It should be given to, and each individual personally and individually should be conveyed and communicated. The research meeting should be facilitated with all kinds of inputs you want. Right? It should not happen that the people coming in the session are blank and black. Right? So that we should focus, and in advance we should communicate. It is very much important to focus on the quality and quantity both. It is said that the brainstorming focuses on quantity and not only on the quality. Okay, so we should, as a researcher, always focus on both of them. Each and every micro quality of the process of the brainstorming, and the entire quantity means how many numbers, how many people are joining, what are the number of questions being. So it is QN and QL both in the name of NAC, in the terms of NAC accreditation, or it is MBA accreditation or any kind of other ranking. Right? Here, this is nowadays very much popular across all research organizations, industry, corporate world. But the precautions we should take, because it should not become very common. As a researcher, it is my duty to always create a non-judgmental environment. It should not happen that someone is being judged. That should not happen in the research meetings. And that is why what is best, I have written over here, you can read that all the things are valuable. Nothing you can say is of no use, or nothing is a waste in this process. Then only your research process, your research brainstorming session will become creative. Otherwise, it will be a waste of time and money, energy, of all of us. And therefore, the core advantage of getting new research ideas, then work, creative research solutions, and those who are not in a position to speak out, they will get the opportunity to open their mind and your research automatically will get improved, right? This is the biggest question, and I have taken it from Edison of medicine, and in his postdoc session he was talking about, and the people asked him, okay, that what is important, question or answer? Then in the reply, this Robert Langer told, he is a healthcare technology innovator. He told, when you were a student, just remember, you were judged by how well you answer the questions. Somebody else asked the questions, and if you give good answers, you will get a good grade. That is what when you were a student. Now, the definition changes. But in life, what is happening? You are judged by how good your questions are. Not the answers only, but the questions. This is very lovely answer, and hats off to Robert Langer. And similarly, when we read Srimad Bhagavad Gita, we see that how balanced the quality of the questions and answers there during this Mahabharata, when Lord Shri Krishna and Arjun were talking, which is in the name of Srimad Bhagavad Gita today we know. So this, what is important? Only questioning or answering also? So from here you can understand questions are more important, and then answers are important. Then it changes the scenario. Sometimes the answers are important and sometimes questions are important. Sometimes it happens, questions are answered by questions only. So the quality of question reflects your inner self, the inner understanding, your intention as well. Sometimes we ask the rubbish questions and the research has nothing to take with this, but we are habituated to do it. So we should be very much cautious about it. Some tips to kickstart this kind of research where, in my words, holistic and original inputs are appreciated before, during, and after your research brainstorming session. See, the inputs must be holistic. They must be very original. It should not be, hearsay. It should not have no value. The inputs are very much important. Otherwise, the entire process will be inefficient. Therefore, these are some of the 12 points what I have taken from the reference I have written. Come up with bad ideas first. See, not all ideas are good always, because there should be some, questions which can jerk your mind. So they can be bad ideas also. Get visual. Think bigger, bigger and bigger. Not in the beginning become narrow. In the beginning, what you have to do is you have to become big-minded, like broad, like big-heartedness. Similarly, open-minded. So become bigger, bigger, have bigger ideas. And then organize all the thoughts. Right? So you can map the insight and you can present it. Okay. Similarly, what you have to do, you have to first find out the roadblocks. What are the hurdles? What are the challenges before you as a researcher, and try to solve it from another angle. Look from different angles. From others' angle, you find it as a solution. From someone's angle, you will find it as a hurdle or challenge or problem. So solve it from different angles. Right? There is a saying, good artists copy and great artists steal. Right? So I don't say you copy or steal, but at least you can read, you can refer, and after referring, you will refine your research outcomes, your inputs in the process. And during the research brainstorming sessions, what will happen? You can tell them some solutions, like in 2010, this was the case, and this was the solution and the outcome was very good. So you can quote it so that the people sitting over there will come to a solution that yes, the track, the pattern, the solution we are trying to find out is whether up to the mark, whether we are right. Because after taking the decision, after taking the initiatives and steps, when you get outcome, when you get the fruit, then you come to know after some period whether my decision taken was correct or incorrect, right? So the history, the literature and the examples of similar problems, research problems, which were there in the past and solved can become guide for all of us, right? So what I say is we should act it. We should get engrossed into it, okay? But it should not be, open-ended. There should be some specific boundary. Then only you can become creative and innovative. Otherwise, the core interest will be lost. Therefore, we should set some boundaries. Boundaries of what? So, for many things like time, objectives, okay, resource. So some other points like take some break, because you should be from inside. Swami Vivekananda told you should always be awakened. So when it is possible, when we take some break, say 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or one day, go for SWOT as well. Then change the environment. This is very much useful. I have written in green. Change the environment. Why to change the environment? The reason is sometimes it becomes very much, suffocating, sitting in the same room, discussing the matter, and the environment becomes so, unpleasing. So what you can do is, that is why you see in Indian tradition, the people used to go under a peepal tree, under a neem tree, banyan tree, and all the people in the village come together. They discuss the matter of the village. Even we used to be taught under that, that tree in the shadow. So that changes the environment. So your mind gets open. In the open environment, we are open-minded. In the closed environment, sometimes we feel to be very closed mindset, very closed mindset. So your thoughts does not come freely and go freely, right? So that is what is the concept. And another thing, sometimes the research brainstorming in alone, in silence, is better than when you are in a group. But both are equally advisable. When think in alone, then go in team to think, and then come back again and think again. So this is what actually because most of the time I have seen my PhD scholars and postdoc scholars as well, that they feel very much depressed. Sometimes they are get diverted. Sometimes they are very much confused. Out of the box, I should share, sometimes the students are wiser than the guide, and it is a good sign. So we should encourage them to question, and we should discuss the matter as research guide, as supervisor. We should not demoralize them to ask. We should welcome them. We should encourage them to ask, because it is a kind of best brainstorming as far the creative and innovative and productive research is concerned. And then only some good outcome will come. Sweet fruit you can publish, you can file the patent, and so many other things in the world of the research. And this sentence had attracted me, that the time limit should not be more than 30 minutes, or say in the worst case you can go up to 45 minutes, but that is much more than the required. One more, this one was that fast and furious session are not advised, right? Shoot from the hip. That again, many people start speaking like anything without having any sense, without having any kind of clear direction. So that should be avoided, especially when the scholars and brilliant people oriented towards enhancing the productivity of research are sitting together. And so each and every word each and every microsecond is important over there. So it should not be waste. It should not be made as a gossip center, and for this, preparation in advance is very much important. Most of the time, I also have experienced that when we get onto a single platform to discuss some point, most of the people I found are not prepared for, even they do not read the agenda. Okay, it is out of box, but it is a kind of message to you all. And the size of the research brainstorming session should not be more than 5, 6. Keep it limited. You can have 2, 3 groups, but don't invite all these big size big size meetings, and the sessions should be avoided. So it is a kind of opportunity to improve, right? It is not a kind of formality, and it should be with full of energy. It is a kind of celebration, because very less people are there on this earth who get this kind of opportunity to improve and to do good kind of productive research. Therefore, what I should and what we should do is we should celebrate it. Means with full enthusiasm, with full energy, and that is what is the key to any innovative research. Some outcomes I would like to share with you. It is from Harvard Business Review 2018, and the topic was there. So I thought I should share you. You can click and get it. So what they have written importantly over here, that research questions are toxic when they are posed aggressively. This is what I was talking in the previous, this one. Shoot from the hip, that should not happen. And if you want the breakthrough in your research, then you should follow all these things where the researchers have advised us, and all those things which are not required should be avoided, right? Again, what other precautions should be taken? So one, no judging, please, as I told. Second, one idea may be good, other may be bad, but it is always relative. Nothing is absolutely good and absolutely bad. So we should not communicate, and we should not try to demoralize someone that no, your idea is not good, it is bad and it is not required. You don't know which idea, whether bad or good. See, it is time bound. Today something may be bad, but tomorrow the same bad what today it was, tomorrow it can be proved good. So welcome that idea also, right? So and another many things are there, but one of them is always follow up, right? And always try to appreciate that yes, it is well done. The team has done well, and always feel obliged. Always feel obliged. Right? That's why I'm again writing that research outcomes are best when better and right people are invited to contribute. This is very important statement from Harvard Business Review again. The topic itself is, for better ideas, bring the right people to the brainstorm. Right people means right, and better means what? What is your research area. What are the research objectives. What is my expected outcome. So based on that, otherwise, let me take an example. If I'm interested to understand the biobotanical advantages and this and that of a neem tree, and I am calling the people who are from zoology, they may not be useful for me. So the botanists are required who have studied and are working in the field of neem tree, not in the mango tree, right? So that we should understand. I'm coming to the conclusion somewhere. Reason is we have invested already about 25 minutes. So 2, 3 things which are thumb rules. One of them is focus on the quantity, as I had told in the beginning, quantity and quality. So we should be very much focused on quantity here, because number of questions coming to you, number of quantity over here is as input, because you are moving from input to process and then outcome. So inputs, so more inputs then more options you will have to filter and then to optimize, right? And that is why quantity, as for brainstorming is concerned, this is the phrase very much famous. Then criticism, that is negativity has no place in RBS. So we have to be very much cautious about it. Then unusual research ideas are key to brainstorming and need to be heard. This, I really love this sentence, that unusual research ideas. Okay, unusual, very much important, right? And at the end, combine all the things, make a note, and then you can become a productive researcher. There are certain theories, and one of the theory is 5 whys. Why, and why, 5 times. That all written over here, and you can read this. I have taken from this website. They have written why, the problem. Second, so the answer is this example they have taken. And at the end, what they are saying at the end, because the VP, she or he was on business trip. Okay, so answer you have got. But there are certain people, certain kind of mindsets are there. We say, no. Again, there should be a question. Why the VP was on business trip? Then again, answer will come. Why he was on business trip to develop the business at, say, New Delhi. Then why to New Delhi? Why not to Mumbai? So the why goes on. But it is the researcher's skill where to stop. So generally, it is not the best one, not the perfect one, but this is the most optimized formula, that up to 5 whys you get the answer what you wanted, right? So some more RBS being practiced, and there you have to stop and go. Means somewhere you have to stop, and somewhere you have to again call it, so that you will get some space. When there is a space, you get the new ideas come into, and then when again you go for RBS, then new ideas will get some fruitful results. And that's why, again, see, NASA engineer Adam, who coined a word, and that is truth seeker. Means all the researchers can be considered as truth seekers. But when is it possible? When you are a right kind of crazy person, when because you are after it, and you want to pour everything into it, everything, your time, your energy, your mind, your resources, all the things you are pouring into it, right? Therefore, he says, just to be done. Means what you have to do as a researcher, you have to have a list what to be done, and you have to plan for next 3 weeks. This is very, very important, my dear friends. Next 3 weeks. Many people I have seen, they plan for 2, 3, 4 years in advance. It has no meaning, right? As a researcher, I can say 2, 3, because see, in the beginning, when you submit your research proposal to any university towards getting your PhD registration, they ask, give us the proposal, plan for next 3 years. Now, next 3 years plan means it's okay. Just to submit it is okay, but you cannot meet with all the things because 3 years is a very long duration. 4 years is a very long duration. So 2 to 3 weeks is fine. So prepare and then act upon it. Then do it. Don't just write and keep it aside, right? And I'm summarizing so that you can feel better, because most of you are interested in this slide only. So the green, aim for quantity, allow preparation time, right? And then go for collective approach, stay focused, then one conversation at a time. Many people in the research also I have seen while research meetings, so many other points are brought into it that should not be done. It should be avoided, and follow up, right? It is very important to follow, otherwise it has no meaning. Document it, make the notes, document it, anything. See, whatsoever you do, you write, then only you can get the actual outcome, what you are expecting. Now, on this website, on Harvard University Twitter, I found a silent RBS produces significantly more effective ideas than brainstorming out loud. Now see, this is very important. I love it because silence is the truth, is the absolute truth. So silent RBS produces significant, I'm repeating it so that you can remember, more effective ideas from brainstorming out loud. Also, these research ideas tend to be more creative and of higher innovative results. So silent RBS is more effective than the out loud. This one. So this is what the Twitter of Harvard says. And therefore, my dear friends, silently, I salute to your patience because you have listened to me patiently. You have oceans of patience. For last 50 minutes, you had been listening to me. And at the end, I thank everyone. And I personally invite you to visit my Indus University, Ahmedabad, for healthy research brainstorming session with me and with my team in any field of your interest and expertise, right? So thank you with these words. And I again take this opportunity to thank all the organizers and everyone who has taken the pain and organized this one, especially Veer Narmad South Gujarat University. Thank you very much. See you again.